Yeah, another bullseye for Tottenham. Tottenham transformed this season, top of the tree, 23 points from a possible 27. That's the second best total ever in their history. And that just puts into context this amazing start from Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, and credit to, obviously, the manager and the staff and all the players. I think especially I think he deserves a lot of credit for the way he obviously handled the Harry Kane situation in the summer. That's never going to be easy, someone that you probably can't replace. And to sort of like stay that calm and believe in what you have and how you can improve this team. It's just been amazing. We keep saying the way Tottenham play, so aggressive on the front foot in every game. Tactically really good, in those central areas, getting so many bodies in the middle of the pitch, building with just two players at the back, creating a lot of chances, taking the chances, and keep saying about the new signings. I think Maddison's been massive. Everything goes through him. I think the way he's played, brilliant.
And sometimes when you do get a new manager and new players, it can take a while for that message to get across and everyone just to bed down and build relationships. Not in this case.
Not in this case, no. One or two players obviously played in the Premier League before. Maddison, a case in point. So it's not like they're coming to something new, but one or two players have had to settle in. But Jermaine mentioned it a while ago, and that when you're coming into a team that's playing well, a confident team, then it's far easier. And that's what they've got at the moment. They've got a manager that's full of self-belief, very, these are my ideas and this is what we're doing. End of story, and you've got to buy into it. And I think there's clarity right the way through the team. It's a team going places at the moment. And as we all know, momentum can build. And once you start building that, once you get the belief of then everybody around you, including the fans, all of a sudden it's a very hard thing to stop. And that's what I sense is happening at the moment.
Now, we saw two goals almost identical. The one in the first half with Tottenham's press, as you pointed out, at half-time. Son started it and obviously finished the goal. But asking Fulham the question here.
Yeah, again, the press, Maddison goes there, and as soon as it breaks down, it's just one pass, and then Sonny head, it's a run across his body, and you just know what he's going to do. It's an amazing finish into the top corner. But Fulham, obviously, I mentioned about going over the press. When you look at the numbers there, for me, you cannot play out there. Maddison on his right foot, he's a left-footed centre-back, under pressure. The other centre-back's too far away from him, and then you get punished.
Yeah, they were the master of their own downfall, but it was brilliant play from Tottenham, and it was just uncanny. The second goal was basically a carbon copy of it. Son there taking the ball on his back foot. The only difference with the second goal was that Son took the ball on his near foot and then laid the ball into Maddison. But the rest of it, the press, here we have it now, the press, the angle of approach from Son, Bassi scuffing it into the middle of the park, the early ball into Son. As I say, last time Son took it on his back foot and shot. This time he takes it on his front foot and lays it off. But apart from that, everything is absolutely identical. It's uncanny. We look at the angle here.
Really clever.
Yeah, really clever. And then that enables the whole team. I mean, it's 38 yards between the centre-halves now. Within a couple of seconds, it's probably 58 yards. They're miles apart. This time, Ream does start sprinting back in. But look at that. They're outnumbering them in certain areas, and Son is all along.
Yeah, I don't care how good you are a player. When you're being pressed is difficult anyway, but to have it there for Bassi on his right foot, to pick a pass out on his weak foot and the ball sort of like nearly off the pitch is really difficult. And then again, it's just one pass and a reverse pass to Maddison and a great finish into the corner.
Yeah, he makes it look easy, doesn't it? And to be honest, it is a reasonably easy finish, but they do everything. They make everything look really simple at the moment in front of goal. They're very efficient. The likes of Maddison and Son, they're not missing too many chances this season. Very calm in front of goal. And as I say, we saw some of Maddison's great moments from this season. The Arsenal goal and things like that, the weight of everything they're making difficult situations look very easy.
And we mentioned Son as a 9. We mentioned he's free from injury in that hernia situation. He had a rest in the summer. Only Haaland's got more Premier League goals now so far this season. And
I can't see him stopping, to be honest. I think when he's in this sort of form, he's always going to score goals. I said about him playing across the front line. I think he can play on the right, he can play on the left, even as the 9, where, like you mentioned before, doing less running and sort of like working a bit for the box and focus on goals and get into those areas where you can get tap-ins. But the way he's playing at the minute, if you keep him fit, he could score 25 Premier League goals for sure.
Well, he did share the Golden Boot a couple of seasons ago, didn't he? He's capable of it.
He's got form, yeah. And I mean, he can score goals from anywhere, can't he? He's quick, he's skillful, he's two-footed. I mean, somebody told me the other day that he scored more goals with his weak foot than anybody else in Premier League history, and I had to ask them, well, which is his weak foot? I mean, he's so ambidextrous, it's unbelievable. But this is a serious player, and he has been for some years. He did have a quiet year last year, and it was almost a relief to hear that he was carrying an injury for a long part of it, because you think to yourself, is he going off the boil here? But once I heard it was a hernia injury, they are a nightmare. They really are a nightmare. So it was good to hear that, and he's back with a bang now.
It's just, I mean, like I said, obviously he got the golden boot, and I think it was last season, it was just slightly off it and that, but, you know, the injury, like Mo said, I've had that hernia, and it's difficult. You know, just especially the way he plays is so dynamic, and it just changes the game completely. But to see him play like this now, so good to watch. So good to watch.
The hernia injuries are a fascinating one, because lots of injuries, they just you know, you have to stop. But the hernia injury is almost like a drag, isn't it? It's like
you're restricted.
You're restricted. You can still play, but you're just literally 80%. Every time you burst into any form of speed, it's just a pain that just, I've got to slow down a little bit. But you can still get out there and play. So it's one of those that you can sort of make last to a summer, let's say, then get a bit of time off, have the operation done, and then you're okay. So it's understandable why he was just a little bit off form last season.
Bigger picture then, 9 games in, that's all it is, into a 38-game season. But they're out of the League Cup, there's no Europe, they've only got the FA Cup apart from the Premier League to compete in, and people are talking about the potential depth of their squad. Why can't these Tottenham fans dream where this could go?
Of course you can dream. I'm sure, you know, all Spurs fans are dreaming at the minute, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to get too carried away. Said before, there's a lot of football to be played. You know, some top teams, you look at Man City and, you know, Arsenal, Liverpool. You know, I think with Liverpool, when you look at their front five, you know, amazing, so much firepower. So I think it's important to, sounds boring, but look to the next game. You know, next game is against Crystal Palace away, difficult game. And that's all you can do, really. I think it's important to not get carried away. Just focus on the next game and just have those same performances and then see what happens at the end of the season.
I think it is interesting, though, in terms of, you mentioning they're not in Europe, they're not in the League Cup.
No. So they're going to rest anyone at any stage, have they?
Leicester, when they won it, they weren't in any other competition.
Well, Chelsea when they finished 10th.
Exactly.
They won the league the following
year.
They
did. Yeah. You know, and... You know, before the season starts, you'd say Tottenham are in a far better position than someone like Leicester. So it wouldn't be as big a shock as that, of course. So it does make you think, you know, some of these big teams have got loads and loads of games. They'll pick up lots of injuries, lots of suspensions. They'll have different priorities. All of a sudden, if you're just aiming for one thing every single week and you're fresh and firing for those games, then it can make it interesting. So we'll see. They've got a very good team. They've had a very good start, and they need to keep the momentum going. Yeah,
and you said over a period of time you expect them to concede goals. Another clean sheet tonight. That's 4 for the season in the 9 games. Vicario is an interesting one, isn't he? Because he cost £17 million from Empoli, and he's produced a couple of saves again. Is he bedding down quicker than perhaps most people expected? He was something of an unknown, the Italian, wasn't he?
It's an amazing save, by the way. I think it's just big moments. I think in the key moments in games where you need your goalkeeper to stand up and pull off saves like this. And, you know, at the top end, when, you know, the 4 players are scoring goals, you know, even if you score 5 goals, you know, the defenders and goalkeepers never want to concede, even if it's just the one. And you look at his body position here, everything he does really, he's a presence, but some top saves in big moments.
Best save ratio in the Premier League so far, he's got?
Yeah. I must admit, I think, did we watch him against Brentford first game of the season? I watched him. I thought, do you look a little bit nervous? I thought he looked nervous. Not that he made any mistakes. I just thought, ball with his feet. I thought, I'm not sure about this guy. From Empoli to
Tottenham, Michael, into the Premier League.
And you're more than, you know, it's absolutely fine to be a little bit nervous in your first game. But since then, wow, I mean, he's been absolutely brilliant. Together with a lot of these new signings for Tottenham, they seem to have bedded in brilliantly well.
OK, so a clean sheet for Vicario, a goal for Maddison, and a 50th goal in that stadium for the Spurs skipper, Son.
Very, very proud about the performance and the results, and yeah, we worked really hard to get this win, and I think we totally deserve it, and yeah, we move on because the next game will next game is going to coming really, really quick, so we have to be ready.
That's the talk of a champion, isn't it? Are you really contenders now, you think?
No, I think it's way too early to speak about this, and we want to just focus game by game. We just want to stay, I think, humble and on the ground, so because there is still many games to play, and then everyone is... every team probably is fighting for the champion, so we have to stay humble and fight for every single game and try to get as 3 points as possible.
You're most definitely a humble guy. Top scorer in the Premier League, then struggling last season. Tell us how it does feel to be part of this great autumn that you're having, both you and the team.
Look, I mean, I never doubt myself because I believe myself. I work really hard to be here, and look, I'm always honest. You know, if I'm playing not well, if I'm not playing well, like last season, I'm the first one who disappointed and who blames me. So, many different reasons. Last year was not the year that I approached myself. But look, this year I was saying before the season, look, I'm going to show that everyone knows me. So I think without the teammates, probably I can't make this effort. So. Very happy that having this teammate behind me and in front of me, and look, I mean, we are working really, really hard, everyone together, which is that we are in this position.
Last one, you've been incredible with James Maddison. Is that a chance you have on 2-0 there? The first time you've argued since he came to the club.
I mean, it was probably my mistake because we both understanding really well at this time. Probably. I was just react to the ball, so I didn't see it behind and I didn't see in front, so I see the just ball, and obviously we shake our hands and then move on, and we are good friends. So with this situation, can't break our friendships or partnerships, so we move on.
It looks good. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Well, you can smile about that at 2-0. Perhaps if it was 0-0, it might be a different conversation.
Yeah, exactly. He's such a nice guy as well. Amazing footballer. Must be a dream to play with him. And then, when you bring someone like Maddison comes in, just those two together, top footballers, and, just love watching them.
Maddison brings an awful lot, not just his obvious skill. I mean, you can hear there the partnerships, the personality and the experience into the dressing room as well.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's so brave with the ball. Even in the first half, I was purring at 3 or 4 of his passes. He just, whips them into that front man. Takes risks. He gives the ball away a fair bit, but that's exactly what you have to do if you're going to, provide the assists and goals that he scores and take the risks that he takes. It's brilliant to watch. He's always trying to make something happen. There's a lot of safe players around, that probably pass it around and just keep their stats up and, the percentage of keeping the ball and things like that. He doesn't care. He literally doesn't care.
And he's obviously given the licence to do that by the manager, isn't he, in that position?
And that's where, these stats and numbers, they don't work out, when you're looking at keeping the ball, because he will risk it virtually every time he gets it. But, on those magic moments, he creates, he scores, and he's been a huge difference.
All I say is given the licence by the manager. Here he is, the record breaker, Ange Postecoglou.
Well, Ange, you've seen your team find different ways to win here. So how do you sum up this one tonight?
Look, it was a good result. Obviously, Fulham are a tough team to break down. I thought first half we handled it pretty well. We're nice and calm. Probably with the chances we had, probably should have had a second and a third. Second half wasn't great for us. We didn't play anywhere near the levels we can with the ball. Without the ball, we were still excellent in terms of our pressing, but with the ball, we were just really, really, really wasteful. I think I said before the game, we've been really consistent this year. That's probably the worst sort of 45 minutes with the ball we've had. So we've still got plenty of work to do.
Whilst we're keen to focus on the positives, and we will, just what you were saying there, what do you think was at the centre of that sort of drop-off that you talk about in the second half? It's
a combination of things. Like I said, I just thought we got a little bit wasteful, we got a little bit static, we weren't moving as much as we were in the first half, and I think you've always got to respect the game. If you're off it just a little bit, it's been around long enough to know it'll drag you down pretty quickly. And I just thought we didn't really sort of stay true to the kind of football we want to play in terms of our movement, the ball movement, and we took some liberties with the game, which I wasn't happy with.
That raft of changes that you made with about 10 minutes to go, taking off some of your sort of key creative outlets, what was the thinking there?
Again, I wasn't happy with the way we looked in the second half. I mean, we got a short turnaround for Friday as well, so we're mindful of, we had a few guys who probably a little bit under the weather today, so just about sort of preserving some energy. The game, I thought was done at that stage, even though we still managed to, allow Fulham some opportunities. But at the same time, hopefully, I was trying to get a little bit of a spark into the team.
The man who has got the most points in Premier League history from his first 9 games. One more than Gus Hiddink and Mike Walker, and the likes of Carlo Ancelotti and Unai Emery and Thomas Tuchel also on that list. And you can hear that, Jermaine, you see it firsthand at the training ground, the demands and the standards that he has. The worst 45 minutes with the ball since he took charge, he said, in the second half.
I can imagine, if Spurs fans watching that probably think, oh, surprising, but I think that just shows that his standards, even though we won at the top of the league, but at the same time, he's not happy with the performance. He was probably not happy with the chance that we missed. Second half, he said that in terms of the movement and intensity wasn't the same as the first half. I think it sends a message to the dressing room as well. Don't get too carried away. We've still got some work to do, and we still can improve, which is good, because the players, you can see the atmosphere in the stadium, everyone's celebrating, which they should do because, it's another win. But at the same time, the manager's like, don't get too carried away. We've still got a lot of work to do, and, there's a big game on Friday. And I think that's good.
Yeah, you like that message?
I do, yeah. I do like it. It's easy to sort of shout and bawl when you've just got beaten because that's how you feel, you're frustrated yourself. But sometimes when you win, it's good. It makes people sit up in the changing rooms after the game and think, oh, the manager's not happy and we've just won, And as Jermaine said, it's standards. Sometimes on the flip side, it's reverse psychology. You get beat and he'll come in and say, do you know what, we did a lot right there. Keep doing that and it'll be fine. So there's a lot of reverse psychology in management. But I do like that. Not every time you win, you should be, ecstatic, and sometimes you get away with one. I didn't think they did that at all, though, today. I thought they deserved to win. They played well enough to win, created the chances to win. So I think secretly he'll be pretty pleased. But of course, things to mop up on as well.
And just a quick one. He said he offered Fulham opportunities, but as we said before the game, they are struggling to score goals, aren't they? That's the bigger picture for Fulham.
Yeah, and they did have a couple chances. So Jimenez come on and he's desperate for a goal. That was a good chance, and a couple others. And they have to try and find a way to score goals, because what happens in between the boxes is obviously important. But at the same time, if you're conceding goals and you can't score, then you'll struggle.
Indeed. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for your company. It's a screenshot for every Tottenham fan after some of the hard times they've had in the recent years. It's only 9 games, but look at that. Spurs are top of the table. From the 3 of us, we'll see you soon. Take care.